Good morning and welcome to the Celebrate podcast. I'm Lisa McGarry.
I'm Della Tootin.
We're co-owners of Celebrate Primary Care. We are live on YouTube and Facebook every Tuesday at 11. We want to thank Fiesta Media for producing this awesome podcast. We love connecting with the community and teaching all of our viewers about the cool things that Gainesville has to offer. Today, we feel very lucky and blessed to have Eric Godet from the Chamber with us. We've had a long relationship with him since he became CEO, and it's been nice because we've been a part of the Chamber since we opened, right? Like right away we joined,
2015.
Yep. We saw the value. So, Eric, we're happy you're here. Tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I'm really excited to be here. I guess I could say I started as interim president and CEO of the Chamber back in August of 2018 and became permanent on December 2018. And so it's really been an incredible ride, never a dull day. It's amazing in the greater Gainesville area, the things that are happening each and every day. There's so much energy, there's so much excitement. Even a local pandemic didn't slow us down. So, it's one of the things I'm excited to share. With all of the things and the hardships and what slowed down, it was amazing to look at the amount of people that have moved to our area, businesses that have contacted us. We did a lot of the site tours and everything online via Zoom and different things, but it didn't slow down. And so we're very excited.
Yeah, that's awesome. So when you talked about, the pandemic coming on, how did that impact your staff? What did you guys do? How did you navigate this kind of time?
Well, at first I called a meeting and we all got together and we started discussing, we shared. You could see the apprehension between many of the individuals who didn't understand what it meant. Some were thinking maybe we'd just be gone for a week or two or whatever, and then we'll be coming back in. And
I think a lot
I kind of said,
people
it'll probably be a little longer than that, but I don't know. We're not sure exactly what's happening. For us, it was very abrupt. We were right in the middle of Gator Nationals, and we had just had our big event, and it was like the next day after, and everything was shut down.
Yeah.
And so we decided immediately, what are we going to do? And we realized, well, we have to make sure we're bringing information to our members that's really pertinent. And I can share that our communications leader, Cheryl Attic, really stepped up and he's like, well, we have to be careful. We're not just putting a lot of information out there. We have to make sure that it's really germane to what's going on and can add benefit, because people can probably be putting out a lot of stuff. And it's probably the best advice we received as a group amongst ourselves.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Bringing value even when we're closed. I mean, that was important. And we noticed that too. We were happy you guys, like the Eat GNV, trying to help the local restaurants.
Absolutely.
I feel like you guys really stepped up and said, okay, so things have changed. How can we pivot? We talk about pivoting, right? How can we adapt and change and make it better, So you guys did a great job, we think, based on what we saw.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. We really wanted to make sure that we were really stepping up and adding value. The first thing that really impacted us was really when the non-essential. So there were like countless businesses trying to, justify their essential, and us working and communicating. I can say our commissioners were incredible. Our current chair, Ken, was amazing at that time. He and I were calling back and forth and talking, and Ken Cornell, and it was just amazing, the receptivity to really help and make sure we clarified and showed groups how they could apply to be essential and get those processes through. The EGNV was just an incredible wellspring of individuals in our community really stepping up to help one another and make sure that we promoted our restaurants at a time that we knew that they were really struggling the most. And so throughout this whole pandemic, our restaurants and our hotels, our whole hospitality industry was the one we were really concerned about that was taking the biggest hit. And how could we help elevate those as much as possible?
Yeah. Do you feel like with the vaccine coming in that we're kind of moving in the right direction, getting people back up? I mean, the sadness has been that we've seen some of our local restaurants that we love close.
That have been around for years and years.
Yeah, that's been hard. But do you feel like, from what you're looking at from your perspective, we're moving?
I can definitely say we are moving back. You can see the wellspring, you can see the growth, you can see new restaurants opening up. You can see more traffic in a lot of our traditional ones that are there. People are feeling a lot more comfortable. I'm looking at numbers. You can see the statistics. Fewer and fewer people are getting the COVID test, which makes sense because more and more individuals are getting the vaccine. Which is really exciting. We're watching our numbers drop precipitously. I mean, that's not only
Especially
in the community,
here.
especially, and even for UF. I mean, I don't think people have known UF has gone through 2 independent studies, and they've come out tops of all universities in terms of keeping, the virus down. So there's a lot of collaboration that's happened between the county, the city, the university, Santa Fe, all these groups working together to make a huge difference. You have UF Health, North Florida, all of these groups are working and talking together on a regular basis, much greater than ever before.
Yeah.
And I shared this term with you. I really believe COVID has been a catalyst for a lot of collaboration, a lot of engagement, and a lot of benefits that came from our community, that wouldn't have happened outside of it. It would just probably taken longer.
Right. Yeah. You said maybe a 10-year span ended up trying to shove it all into a year.
Exactly.
And so kind of navigating that, and, it's been hard.
So some of the examples are, early on we found out that Nationwide wasn't going to open up.
Yeah.
So
And
crazy.
I got a call from their attorney, and it was amazing that, they had planned to do a gradual thing with people working from home, like over a 10-year period, but they had like 98%, if I'm not mistaken, of their employees around the nation that were working remotely, and their production had soared.
Yeah,
Went
That's
through the roof.
awesome.
You're not going to bring people back for production to tank.
Right.
And so
And
they
have
made
all that
shift.
overhead.
Exactly.
I mean,
And
that giant building and all the
campuses. And so my understanding, they were going to close all of their campuses around the nation except for 2, the one in Iowa and the one in Columbus. That's my understanding, where the headquarters is, whatever.
Yeah.
And but these are things, when I talk about a catalyst, these are changes that happened right away. We knew that changes were happening with digital education and online education and stuff. With COVID, it happened overnight.
Right.
I mean, we had to move
Yeah.
very quickly in 1 year. So we've made a leap technologically out of a need.
Yeah.
And it got matched, right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it has been interesting to see, the impact, a lot of it obviously negative for people, but there's been some really good things, positive things that have happened. And I think, that, we talk about continuing to connect with other chamber members and doing events. And we've kind of laughed because we always love like getting together and, seeing people in the community. And that's changed a lot for us as well. But you guys did an event, which we love, not too long ago. They had their early morning.
Yeah, their breakfast.
The chamber
Before
before
hours.
hours.
Yeah,
And we
at
love
Trio,
those.
which was fun.
Yeah, that was a really great event. And we look forward to getting back to those.
And you guys did it very safely.
Thank you.
You did a fantastic job. Steve did a great job. We really appreciate it.
It's important, and it's nice to have the technology to put people in breakout rooms.
Yep.
So how we would break out at different tables and converse, you do that in a breakout room. And for us, it's finding a way to keep things moving, but doing it in a safe manner.
Yeah.
For sure.
And so we don't want to be paralyzed. We don't want to stop
Yeah.
moving forward, and we want to find ways to keep people engaged. And we really believe it's healthy for our community to be creative and come up with ways to keep people engaged. I mean, I can tell you, we've gotten a lot of benefits out of this. So COVID happening during an election period was really a challenge for us to cover all of our, where we'd have our normal forums and all the different groups and people come together to hear them and ask them questions. So we created a online platform where everyone got a video and got even more questions to know the candidate personally, and, have all this stuff available online so you can listen to those candidates at your leisure and hear their own words.
Yeah.
And hear their thoughts and be able to make decisions on issues. And, anything from, I guess, every so often we'll have these wonderful constitutional amendments and that kind of stuff, and you get to hear pros and cons. And we had individuals that were for it and against it, different experts, and so you got to weigh their decisions. And what was really neat is when they both agreed on something.
Yeah.
That was one of
You're
those,
like,
they're
"Woo!"
like, okay, yeah, from both sides. So I think it created creative ways for us to deliver some of the same information that we're not going to go back and not use anymore. This
Right.
is superior to what we were doing before.
Sure.
But it
Absolutely.
came out of this change and this need.
Right. Yeah. It was forced, but We'll take it.
Exactly.
Some of it we'll take. Yeah.
There you go.
We do want to get back to having contact with people and being in person when we can, obviously, when we're
Yes.
safe. But yeah, so I think what's interesting too is, you talked about nationwide closing, but I think, when we experience these crazy winters up north,
Right.
if people are able to have more remote ability, then I would expect that we'll have an influx. I mean, you talked about the
moving to
influx,
Florida.
900
Yeah.
new people. Do you know if that's changed? I mean, probably some of it's changed through the pandemic, but 900 people a day into our state.
Yeah.
And that
I think it's more than that now.
Well, it may pick up.
So I think what you're seeing, just like we talked about the catalyst, COVID has been a catalyst for a lot of those people who are planning on coming to Florida eventually
Yeah.
to move
Coming now.
And what we're seeing also, it's not those who are planning on retiring or near the end of their career or middle of their career. We're seeing a lot of younger folks that are
Yep.
coming. And so what's really neat, I've met with quite a few that have come from Pennsylvania, from New York, and Ohio. And and also one of the couples were from DC, and they're coming because they have their jobs and they can work anywhere. And Florida's
be on the
open.
beach?
They're coming here. What are we waiting for? Why are we waiting until we're older to retire
Yeah.
and then move to Florida? Why don't we come now with our job? There's a couple I shared with some of our board a couple weeks ago that they have their jobs and they made an agreement with their employer that they'll work for a year. But in the interim, they're looking for a business to purchase locally.
Oh, awesome.
And
That's
so
nice.
these are the kind of things that are happening. And so we're watching this migration that was already happening. It's not an accident. Florida's already the third largest state in the union and growing at a rapid. It's only accelerated.
Yeah.
Throughout our state. And so now instead of only individuals we're seeing, we're also looking at companies.
Yeah.
They're looking. And so we've been meeting with different groups and we're trying to bring in more manufacturing and we're looking at groups that are coming and they are. And I mean, we have some that have already put on bids for buildings and different things.
That's
It's an
exciting.
exciting time
Yeah.
because we need those high wage jobs in our community.
For
and
sure.
these are incredible jobs and these people are relocating. We have them looking at our municipalities like Alachua. They're looking at some
Newberry.
exactly. And so this is really exciting to see. But these are companies that are relocating from the Northeast. And we're trying to be strategic and even go after some in the Midwest. And this is a critical time because they're all hating the weather right now. It's all overcast and gray.
Yeah.
And this is prime time and they're ready to take a call from Florida.
For sure.
That's
They're digging,
exciting.
digging out
Exactly.
the snow and you mean you're isolated already? You're digging
Exactly.
snow. I mean, that is not a good combo.
No.
Well, we're taking a page out of UF Health's book. What's really neat is they have an incredible plan where they put up these billboards
Yeah.
this time of the year for recruiting physicians.
Right. Yeah.
It's brilliant. And so
It's like sunshine and a beach.
I told Ed when we met with him, it's about a year ago now, I'm stealing that. We're going to use that idea, especially when you're recruiting
Get 'em
companies.
here.
Exactly.
Yeah, why
I think
not?
it's brilliant. This is the time. We have their full attention.
Yep.
They are hating life up there right now.
Yeah.
You
and
know,
we
it's
don't
a-
have the beach, but we have amazing, outdoors and
Hiking and
yeah.
rivers and
Right.
Kayak.
the
lakes.
quality of life. So this is some of the new things. So we just opened up a turtle reserve
Yeah.
over in Oakmont.
Cool.
Oh, nice.
So that was earlier this week. And yesterday, well, I could say, no, that was last week, like Friday. Yesterday, we just opened up the Turkey Creek Preserve
Yeah.
with trails and everything. That's
nice.
another 375 acres out there. So we're one of those unique places where, we have these incredible springs.
Yep.
Yes.
We have this incredible wildlife and fauna and stuff around here. We have the prairie. We have, it's really neat. I mean, when I take my family and we go out there, number one, they're blown away by the alligators.
Yes.
But the last time we were there, the wild horses came
Yep.
up to us. We were blown
So
away.
cool.
And we're like, why? But we realized we were standing on their little crossing. And so that's why they came up. And they had their
You were in their way.
Exactly. That's right. So and that's why they came up and they were just, and just walked right on by. And it was just,
It's cool.
it is cool.
Yeah. Well, and the
You know.
beaches are close, and Orlando and Disney is close, and Tampa is close, and Jacksonville's close, and the zoo. I mean, everything feels close here. That's why we
We're
like Gainesville.
ideal.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
feel we're in the center
Yes.
of where things are happening. I'll tell you, even to the point where we look at it on a national scale and our federal government, we look at what's happening here. We even have the Army Reserve looking at opening up what they call an ECS, I think it's like an equipment something site or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And what this will be is in the state of Florida right now, whenever we have an emergency, a hurricane, let's say something hit the Keys.
Yeah.
So we have to send our reserves up to Alabama and Georgia to bring our equipment back.
Oh,
Yeah.
geez.
Because we don't have a site
Storage
here in
facility.
Florida. Exactly.
Is that the
so this
fairgrounds?
equipment site? Exactly. That's a
Yeah.
property
Oh,
that's going to be
nice.
there. What's really neat now, and we are so centrally located and protected when they look at storms and everything. This is the ideal site to service Florida.
Right.
And so this is really an exciting opportunity for us to continue, because when these equipment concentration sites come, they always bring other businesses and stuff around. So I'm hoping that'll spur on, for our airport corridor to have more hotels, restaurants, and things that usually come and follow, because there are other businesses that follow this also and bring that, density
Yeah.
of businesses in an area
It's
that
such
we
a
need.
synergy that
It
is
is.
created, right? With
Yeah.
all of these things. Are the trails that just opened up, are they bike trails, walking trails? What are they?
So they're a combination of all the above. So they're walking trails, they're bike trails. I think a limited equestrian for residents that live nearby in that area that have it. But yeah, it's really neat. And and the exciting thing is we're going to have more opening. It's really a lot's planned and a lot's happening. And I encourage everyone, if you haven't looked at Visit Gainesville, please go to their site, see what's happening every weekend. There are so many neat things happening in our community that I think people aren't aware. On Fridays, I try to share with our team what's happening,
Yeah.
so they can
Yeah.
know. I mean, it's a neat place for a place our size. It's amazing, the talent, the groups, the energy, the excitement, what's happening in our community. And then if you look at our region overall, it's incredible.
Yeah. And I think that's a good point. I think so many people have felt disconnected and lonely through this time. And that is a good point, that they can reach out and find out what's going on and things that they can still participate in.
That are outdoors.
Right.
They're outdoors and not feel so isolated and alone.
Exactly.
So I love that you guys are doing that. How do people, get involved? How should they reach out to find out more of what the chamber does and what they can do to become a member? All of those good
Absolutely.
things.
So, the easiest way for most people is usually websites and
Yep.
going online. And you can always get on our website at thegreatergainesvillechamber.com, and you'll have access to whatever you want. And you can be as engaged as you like, or you can lay back as much as you like. You may just want to receive updates and information, or you may want to get in on our breakfast before hours and meet other people and other businesses and talk about your business and what you're doing and grow and learn. And I think the networking is key. I truly believe there's a health component of being social and engaging with
Oh,
others
100%.
and meeting people. And I think that's one of those natural enjoyment things and natural joys that come out of being engaged. And in business, you get to meet so many people. So as physicians, your patients are coming in all the time. You get to see what's happening, and you really want to make sure that there's that relationship. And I think it's the same thing with business and meeting people. And somebody may have been thinking they need to come and visit you, but hadn't thought about it till they met you or you had that engagement.
Oh, 100%. So much like business happens when are just around people like, oh, yeah. Now I remember you. It's like being in top of mind and being in front of people. And so, we've kind of missed that you
Yeah.
were saying, you're like, I'm so impressed you guys are doing this podcast. It's like, for us, we have to do different things,
Yeah.
right? Because we're not going to chamber after hours events, and we're not so what can we do different? I know. And
Yeah.
Elio's wanted us to do this forever. Yep. So it's been super fun, and
Yeah.
we're getting to connect with other businesses and telling other people in our community, we have so many awesome things here that people have no idea, right? It's like these little microcosms. It's like, let's pull them all together so people know, and for us during the pandemic, like you guys, we had to pivot. Luckily, our patients were used to reaching out via text
Yeah.
and telemedicine. And so for us, they never had an interruption in care.
Good.
We left our pharmacy open. We left the lab. And so, but like you guys, we had as many people working from home because we didn't know how long it was going to be and what it was going to look like. But we kept reaching out, engaging with our patients, the ones that we knew were a little bit more isolated even before
Right.
COVID. We're like, oh my goodness, make sure we've got people that are taking care of you guys too. So, no, we understand that having to pivot, and this has been super fun for us. Like, we're having a really good time, and connecting.
It is. It's a new day.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what I love about it is people are more creative than I can ever remember them
Yeah.
being.
Right.
And I think that's important for all of us. And I think because of it, we're finding new ways of doing things, and we're all growing and we're all being stretched. And we can be examples for those who can't figure out.
Feel stuck.
Exactly.
Right? Like, what can you do different?
You got
like,
it, Lisa. Mm-hmm.
You know, and for us too, like we've always done, you know, word of mouth. That's always what we've done. Well, this year, you know, we're doing this, and we hired a marketing firm that helps clinics grow. And, you know, we have to do things different and think different. And we really loved what we did before. So for us, it's just like, this is hard, and we miss people, and we miss connecting. And, you know, we tried to go out
Golf
to
tournaments.
Yeah.
Doing the golf tournaments.
no.
They're priceless.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
they are
You
the
guys have a
best.
great time. I'm going to find
Exactly.
other things outside to
Hey,
do.
You spend all that time out there. You really get to know someone and appreciate them. And, you know, the funny thing is, I love about golf. I have some friends, and I haven't golfed with them in a while, and I miss them, but it's really good. They would get upset at a shot, and I just kind of look at them like, and when's the last time you played?
Yeah.
You don't play
Relax.
enough to get upset.
Yeah.
You
You're
know,
just out
kind
here
of
to
like
hang
it
out.
is, you know, and it's just, I think it's just the best. I mean, it's a bad shot. Hey,
At least you're outside.
exactly.
Yes.
For sure.
You know, and it's and to me, to be out there and to do an activity with other individuals, and it's in a safe environment, it's great.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, we don't have enough of them.
For sure.
So what's on the horizon with the chamber? What do you see developing over the next few months through the summer? Typically the summer is a little lully, but I don't know, maybe we'll be still in a momentum of upswing. So
Right. So historically, the summer was kind of quiet because everybody was away and traveling and doing that kind of stuff. Well, you know, last year we found out that was not the case.
Yeah.
And so it was probably the busiest time for us because there was a lot of opportunity where we didn't have the calendar scheduled with stuff to create and run new programs and do new things. And so for us, a lot of that is what's happening. We're going to be working on new programs, rolling out things like Inclusive Gainesville. And Inclusive Gainesville is a wonderful thought process in terms of looking at businesses in our community that have really been at the forefront of making change and being inclusive just as part of their mission. They've been doing it all along. And we've been meeting with a lot of them and getting their ideas and best practices and how they figure this out and what they did and how they diversify and do stuff with vendors. And it's really been inspirational to learn what our businesses have been doing on their own. And so we're going to be sharing with that. We have an opportunity where we actually are going to be creating an accelerator to help different businesses, women, minorities, groups that are out there get started. We have individuals that have dedicated and are ready to commit space so that they can have it.
Nice.
We have people that are ready to commit dollars so they have funding. We have, you know, services that are being there. So it's really an exciting time for us to really make an impact on our business community and give that support to a lot of our starting businesses. One of the things I always try to remind people is, you know, we tend to think of our larger companies and businesses around here, but we're a chamber. The majority of
small
our
business.
members are 90% are like small businesses.
Yeah.
That's the heart and soul of this community.
Right.
And we want to always do whatever we can to elevate and really multiply and grow as many new small businesses as we can and strengthen, you know, and encourage those that
and
currently
we
exist.
strengthen by connecting to
Exactly.
each other. Because then
And
we
supporting
can,
one another. That's right.
Yeah.
And I love that about the chamber. That's been why we know that how important it's been to us personally. So
For sure. Absolutely.
it.
So,
yeah.
and we'll have some kind of ribbon cutting when the new place
Absolutely.
opens.
Well,
There's
we're
outdoor
excited.
space, so
Yeah.
we'll
awesome.
have like some tents or something outside, and maybe have some people come by
There-
and see the
we
new building.
perfected ways of doing it safely.
Yeah.
It's
Good.
okay. That's one thing we've learned in the past year.
Yeah.
Yes,
awesome.
that's awesome. It's
We'll have
great.
to share the before and after pictures with
That's
you.
right.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, you're going to be
That's
like,
awesome.
what? Yeah,
Okay.
1982 to 2021. It's a big change.
That's
Yeah.
a huge span.
Yeah. For
So,
sure.
so we're really excited about it. Well, we want to thank you for being with us today and sharing.
you.
It was fun, and it's nice to see you. You know, we
I
don't get
know.
to see people
You guys
right
look
now.
great. I've missed you.
Yes, we
This
missed
is
I know,
awesome.
we've missed you too, and we appreciate. We know you're really busy, so taking time out to be with us today is really special. So thank you.
Well, it's truly an honor.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. Yeah. Awesome.
All right, so we will see you next week. We have Lauren Douglas. She is a health coach and a Vistage leader here in our community, and she's going to talk to us about coping with COVID and how people have struggled and ways that they can help, and that she knows that she can help them as well. So we appreciate your time. We are on YouTube and Facebook Live every Tuesday at 11. And thanks again, Eric, for your time today.
It's a pleasure.
And we will see you next week.
And thank you to Elio and Fiesta Media. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
Thanks. Bye.